Hello everyone, I hope everybody's well. So I am going to be doing some more slow stitch on this. Haven't thought anything about it other than I've come in sort of 10 minutes ago and I thought about doing something on here. Now I found this, I've done this, there's a couple more pieces somewhere as well that have other writing on. Excuse my hands. There's ink on them from doing some printing yesterday, and there's also some gardening, and I scrubbed them, but you know, it's difficult to get it out sometimes. Anyway, so I found this, I've done a whole piece sort of like that with lots of different words in nature on them, and I've used several in my work in the past. Quite like that there. I might put that there, but the only thing I wasn't keen on is how dark the writing is. So what I thought was I would put two pieces together here, because this is sort of fairly blank. There isn't much going on there. I would put this here and do some writing up this way here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to, first of all, stitch round, and then I'll do some writing on it. And yeah, that's my little project for today on here. I might get some more done, I might not. So as you know, I like to put a little bit of tiny glue on just to keep it in place, and I'm going to stitch around it quickly, so I'm not going to do anything, you know, I don't need to pin it or anything. So just some glue there. Actually, that was quite a lot of glue when I think about it, because I'm going to be doing some writing on there. Just wondering whether to take some more of this off, this creamy colour, beige colour on top of the cream. Might take a little bit off. I've already taken some off, but I want to take a little bit more off. And then I will fray the edges. So thank you again for your comments on my last slow stitch video. Yesterday I put out a video doing some just some, you know, paper crafting. I love paper crafting as well, and so I did some of that. And really enjoyed, just, you know, no pressure. Right, okay, so that's on there now. So I'm going to stitch it. Oh, I thought I'd threaded my needle, I do apologise. So I pulled out 2 strands of this colour. It's a bit lighter, it's not so harsh as the one in the other. Do apologise, I thought I'd already threaded. And then I will do a border around here, and this will sew it on, but it will also, you know, be nice, a nice border. Well, we'll see what it looks like. I'm not 100% sure about it, but we'll see what it looks like. I maybe could have done with this is nice and easy to sew through, by the way, compared to, you know, sewing through that. I don't think that is, I'm not sure that is calico. I did say it was calico, but I also used to buy lots of canvas for you know, I used to stretch my own canvases, and so I used to make the wooden frames, you know, the stretchers, and then oh, I don't like that, it's quite big stitches. Anyway, prefer them not to be that big, but I've done it now. Yeah, and I had a huge wad of canvas, and I think that's it. So I think that's why it's difficult to sew through, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, thank you for your supportive and lovely comments, by the way. Just means a lot. It really does mean a lot. And when I spoke about, you know, lack of motivation, you know, and wondering whether to carry on. When I receive lovely comments like that, it does motivate me more. It does make me feel like I want to carry on. So it, you know, it makes it worthwhile is what I'm trying to say. So thank you, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And welcome to any new subscribers. It's lovely to have you here. I hope you enjoy my videos. There's a whole back catalogue of videos that you can watch as well, which you might find interesting. There's lots of different types, you know, of doing mixed media work, slow stitch, and junk journal work, you know, and then just creating tags, things like that to go in my journal. So there's lots of different types of video going on that you might enjoy. And yeah, I saw somebody recently who had, I don't know how you do it, but she had said that she is releasing her old videos again. So I don't know how you do that, you know, I don't know how that works. I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon, but yeah, I mean, it's a good reminder. I have done it once, but that was, sorry, I hope you could see me then. That was something very specific, and yeah, I showed it again. I can't remember why now, but yeah. So I have done it once, but I don't know. Well, I guess you just save it and do it again, because I tend not to save them on my phone or, you know, in the editor. Once they're up on YouTube, I tend to, that's it then. I tend not to save them because it just takes up far too much memory. I use my phone to sorry, I thought that was thunder then. We had sunshine, and then we just had some rain, and I thought maybe that was thunder, but anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Just sound like, well, I can't think what else it would be. It's like a rolling, thundery noise. To be honest, it's not that warm outside. There's a chilly wind. In the sun, if you're, I guess, if you're, you know, sheltered, then it might be quite warm, and it'll probably warm up as it goes through the day. What I notice, I think I might have mentioned this before, but it fascinates me, is that by around about 4 o'clock, it always seems to be sunny, and which is lovely because, you know, my garden at the back has sunshine on it, you know, from 1 o'clock onward. Well, it has sunshine the whole time, but where I sit out, it has sunshine from around 1 o'clock, and then so I can sit outside with an afternoon cup of tea, you know, or something like that, and then you know, just enjoy the sunshine. So I'm lucky in that regard. But yeah, it always seems to come out at, you know, around about tea time-ish. Don't think I have any news to tell you. You know, it's not that long since I made a video. I think that's going to look nice. I'm just, you know, here doing my thing. Not really. I was potentially going to meet up with my friend today for maybe lunch or coffee, but she hasn't been in touch and I haven't reached out. to find out. And so yeah, I think both of us probably not up to it today, so you know, it's probably it. I must admit, when I woke up this morning, I didn't feel up to it at all. But sometimes it's like that. And my friend and I, you know, we're both, she's a busy lady. She's got a lot going on. So I just, you know, whatever she wants to do is fine by me. And sometimes, you know, if one of us cancels, it's never going to be a big problem for the other. Right, there we go. So that's I'm going to do some stitching along here. And I think, let's have a look at it close. I think that's going to look nice. Just, you know, this nice, but so if I'm going to utilise the spaces, maybe to put little sort of areas of interest on the pouch, then that's, you know, I think coming down here. Oh, actually, now that's, I'm wondering about putting it there now, because I really like the look of that there. I do. I like that there. This is all a little bit too perfect. I'm going to just rough it up a little bit. Just looked a little bit too perfect for my liking. I think I'm going to put it there, you know, as opposed to there, and then find something else for there. Yeah, I don't know why, I like it there better. Okay, so what shall I write? Well, I was thinking I would write forest again, or I could write nature. Yeah, let's write nature. So I don't know if I want, I'll try and do a little outline of the word nature. Actually, I quite like Nature's Gifts. I use that a lot in my work in the apothecary. So I'm going to put Nature's Gifts. I'm going to do very simple writing because trying to you know, you've got to remember I'm going to be how about that? I think that looks nice. I'm going to do that with you guys here, if that's okay with you. So, where's my needle? What did I do with my needle? There. Should always put it back. Okay, now I'm going to use the same cloth, or I could use the darker one, could I? No, I could use a lighter one. But no, I want to use this one. I think it will stand out and it will be lovely. Nature's Gifts, which is how I see, whenever I forage, that's how I see, you know, nature is gifting me all the loveliness. Any of you foragers? You haven't mentioned anything. It would be good to know though. Right, I don't know. I'm going to bring you down while I do this so you can see more clearly. I'm back. I had to pause. I had a message from my friend, so I had to reply to her. I knew she would be waiting. So, yeah, we've rearranged. All right. So I've pulled the, you know, the camera down. Now, if I haven't, you might have seen another video of me doing some writing, and what I always say is to anybody is, I do tend to be, you might find this a little bit frustrating if I'm honest, but what I tend to say is that the way to do tricky curves, you know, for example, when I do the E, is to try and do smaller stitches in that area. You know, and that helps. The smaller the stitch, the better it is, you know, the more you can control. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. And now you can see that I'm doing back stitch here, but that's not necessary. You can do whatever you want. You can, you know, do whatever, however you like. So, you know, this isn't going to be perfect at all, as you can see. I'm just going to rewrite that A because it's a bit close to the end, so I'm going to just move it over a little bit. Now that wasn't good. I don't have one of those pencils, and I need to sharpen this one. You know, one of those pencils you use to do, that's better. And then I'll redo the T. Yep, that's better. So yeah, as I said, you know, you can, I'll get into the swing of it, I'm pretty sure, in a minute. I'm just starting out, so bear with me. So when you're doing curves, it's better to do them, you know, do smaller stitches. And what I'm looking, I've got the camera really low so that I can also see what's going on. As I said, I'm doing back stitch as well, just because it helps me, you know. I just had a lovely big bowl of strawberries and Greek yogurt. Oh, and some delicious Scottish raspberries as well. Oh my goodness me, they were really lovely. They were expensive, but delicious. So sometimes it's worth paying that little bit more, especially for ones that don't, you know, go off the next day. There's nothing more frustrating than buying a lovely bowl of, you know, either strawberries or because they perish so quickly. But when you buy good quality, they don't so much. So there we go. Now it will be wobbly, and that doesn't bother me one little bit. So where shall I start? I'm going to start here and work my way up. You might not be able to see, I don't know if you can see the yeah, that wasn't great. I'm going to just do, I didn't do a good angle on that, but hopefully I will have rectified it now. Yes, a lovely bowl of fruit. And Greek yogurt and some raw honey and some nuts, granola, and a sort of a mix of flaxseed, chia seeds and other things, other nice things. It's ground down into sort of more of a, you know, you could add it to a cake, for example, or any sort of baking, I guess, but you wouldn't really notice it too much, or bread even. Okay, I mean, that's not a brilliant S, because I've been a little bit impatient. I could have done a much better shape there, but it's not bad. I'm not going to quibble over something. I'm going to just put my little apostrophe here. I'm growing my own raspberries. I grow them every year, but last year they didn't do, you know, that's not true. I did get some really lovely large raspberries, but I didn't get as many as I normally do, and certainly not. I grow red currants as well, and I hardly got any of those, and that's because I moved them from my last garden. So you know, they were growing happily in my old garden, and I moved them. One thing that did occur is when I moved them is I managed to get I had to cut them down, and the cuttings that I took gave me new plants, so I was really happy about that. So now I've got more plants, but as I said, they didn't do much in the way of not concentrating here. I should have in fact, I think I'll go here. I don't want to spoil this. I'm going to go there. I want to try and get a nice rounded shape. Yes, I was really happy about that. And I did have little black ones. I forget what they're called now. Oh, I've got black currants growing as well, and strawberries. Not many. I could do with more, but I'm trying to figure out the space in my garden for things like that. I'm growing potatoes this year. I have quite a large space in my garden, in elements of the garden, because I have a small garden at the back. It's all, by the way, it's all, do I want to go that far? I think no. It's all not pebbles, you know, the smaller stuff. It's all like that, because it was concreted at some point. I don't know if it ever had grass or anything like that. It's not that sort of, it's a cottage, and they tend to have small gardens, but I'm lucky in that I'm in an end cottage and from a row of terraced cottages, and they're quite well spaced apart. I'm just wondering, no, I'm quite a loopy writer, but so I could, if I wanted to, do some loopy stuff there, but no, I'm going to stick to plain writing. Anyway, what am I saying? Yes, so the garden is, I have, yeah, as I said, I'm on the end. So I've got a front garden with a square patch. You know, it's like a nice square patch. And there's a very small part of that that's taken up. I think I want to add a little bit to that eye. So I filled it, well, not filled it, but I've got some pots growing there. Sorry, I'm not explaining myself well because I'm trying to concentrate at the same time. Didn't do that very well. Yeah, it's fine. So I've got a few pots at the front, and I've just added the whatever I wanted to see how they looked. And then I have a really long driveway. You could, if you fit them bumper to bumper, you could fit 3 cars in the driveway, so it's quite long. And then along the side of it, it's got a wooden fence, like a picket fence, style fence, and a lovely old, at the front it's got a lovely old wall, one of those dry stone wall type of thing, type of wall. And then, so the drive is quite long, as I was saying, and then there's a border, a thin border. What am I doing? yeah, so there's a thin border down the side of the, going all the way down the side of the driveway. The bottom of the driveway, the fence, there's a big fence, and I'm growing sweet peas up there, up against the fence, and then I have, don't like that either. Oh well. And that's where my potatoes are. Now I could, because I've got a lot of space, I could move my car further up towards the gate of the driveway, and then I could, if I wanted to, I could utilise that space with some beds, you know, sort of raised beds or something, added there. Because at the moment I'm using sort of grow bag, you know, those bags that you fill with soil and then compost rather, and then you know, you put your whatever it is you've got in them. I mean, I've got the fruit is growing in pots, the potatoes are growing in bags, is what I'm trying to say. And I've got a tomato, but that's in a pot. Well, I've got a couple of tomatoes, they're in pots. And but I did think that if next year, maybe, because I don't think I've got time this year now, I could create space to do some beds there and grow veg there. So I think that's the plan for next year, if I'm, you know, if everything's going, yeah, happy with that. I did think the F was a bit big, but it doesn't matter. See if I can do a better job on the S. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. And then, oh yes, and then the back is a lovely square, sort of, no, it's a rectangle. It's a nice size, and I have lined the walls, around the walls. It's got a lovely old wall, and a stone building that I can use as a shed. And I've lined the walls with planters, sort of wooden planters, so I can plant all the way around the edges. And then I have lots of pots as well. Some would say that I've got too many. My family constantly tell me I've got way too many pots. Well, I said I was going to do a better job, but I'm not doing a better job here, so I'm going to take that out. That's a much better S than that one, but I'm not complaining. So I'm really happy with it. Now, I don't think I want anything on the end, so I'm going to end off here. There we go, and move that. Really happy with that. I think that's going to look lovely there. I think it goes like that. And I think what I'll probably do is just do some tiny, to stitch it on, I think I'll probably just do some stitching around there. And I will use a cream colour for that. I'll use this colour for this, because, I mean, I could just use ordinary thread, and I'm tempted. Have I got any white thread here? Could use green. Got some white thread. I think I'm just going to use ordinary thread because I'm not trying to make a feature of it. I just need it to stay, you know, keep the piece in place and stop it from fraying any further, because I can see it would be very, very easy for those to come out. So that's what we're doing. I am on the right side. Yeah, there. Oh, no, is it going there? It was going there. Not that way. So the other side was going that way. Yeah, I think I was talking about my garden, but I got distracted with them trying to get that S done. I came out in a cold sweat. No, I didn't. Ah, look at that. So that's where it folds there. So I'm going to just put, you know what I'm going to do, just put a tiny bit of glue there to keep it in place while I stitch it. Now I really hope it wasn't a tiny bit, but yeah, I'm liking that. Let's just fold it up, see if it's straight. There we go, like that. Good, 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 good. And then I'll stitch it on. I'm going to take that out because it's not doing me any favours. It's, yeah, not sitting well. So I will start here. Here, she said. And I'll do a double stitch. I might have to do back stitch with this because, you know, it is going to fray further, I think. Well, let's see. It'd be better if I didn't because, you know, it just takes up a lot of time. It shouldn't do, but, you know. So I'm doing stab stitch again. The other thing I could have done was doubled it over. I don't know why I didn't, to be honest. It would have been better because it would have been stronger then. I'm going to double it now. And I'm going to go back. Then I'll cut that little bit off, okay. It's just going to hold it more securely. Oops. I love the frayed edge. Frayed edges everywhere in this project. I don't think about what I'm going to do next. So I will be doing something along that side that I said that I was originally going to put this. So I will be doing something there. I'm not going to cover it with things, but where there are gaps, I think it would benefit from having, you know, different things. I'm going to do some monoprints maybe later on this afternoon, and if I do them this afternoon, I will well, whenever I do them, I will film it, but I don't know if it will be this afternoon. I tend to get quite tired. Yeah, I do tend to get tired of it because I don't sleep well at night, and I only sleep for a few hours, and then, you know, I get, like a lot of people, around 2 or 3 o'clock I get a slump. I'd have to work through that sometimes, and other times I just give into it. But, you know, I try not to sleep during the day because, well, I might not sleep at night, but then, you know, sometimes I have to doze off during the day because I just haven't had enough sleep, and it's an accumulative effect. It's very, very bad for us. We need our sleep. It's so important that we have good sleep, and it preys on my mind, and of course that makes it worse. You know, I have insomnia, I have tinnitus, and but I did sleep well while I was away, so I don't know if it's yeah, I don't know what the problem is sometimes. Try to work it out, and it's a bit useless trying to figure things out like that, you know. I just have to try and do everything I can to have good sleep before I try to go to sleep. It's just common sense. But sometimes it doesn't work, you know, man, no matter how much common sense you put into it, it doesn't work. And, you know, maybe resting during the day isn't a bad thing under those circumstances. Right, okay, done it. Got around it. And there we go. So I've got a piece of thread here that needs to be sorted out, and I've got a bit there, and I honestly don't know how I've done them. Well, I do know, but I wasn't aware of doing them at the time, and I didn't check. So, right, so there we go. So that's both of them on now, and I'm really loving that. Hope you like it. It's quite sweet. And I think what I'm going to do now is, I didn't realise, yeah, I'm going to put something there, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with you guys. Let's just see. Got some little bits of, that's quite nice. I like that. Again, it's an open weave and it might prove a bit tricky. I've got some muslin here. I could put a bit of that on there with something else. Right, now I do have that. It says sun, but it's not really too relevant. But I know that I have another couple of pieces of that with more writing on, but I can't remember where they are. And I'll do one little check. They could be in here. Oh, now, what about, no, that's pretty, but no. There, Flora. Oops. And I've got wild and light. So I don't think light. Let me just put this away again. Found those easily enough. Right, so Flora is in a lighter colour, and I really like that. I think I'm just going to put that on in the middle there. No, it's going that way. There. Okay, so that's that. And then I will stitch it on with, I'm going to use purple thread, because if I can find the colour that I used. Okay, I'm back. I've got my purple thread. I don't know if I mentioned I was going to use purple. And I'm just going to do very simple stitching as per usual. I love these threads hanging down like that. I don't know if I'm going to keep them, but we'll see. So a very simple border. Just echoing what we have across here. And let's see how we work. And I'm doing my usual slow stab stitch to get them without big gaps between, so a nice, well, straightish. I mean, I wouldn't, it's definitely not straight there. Yeah, that's not straight, but never mind. I'm going to leave that trapped in there. My nails are in a terrible state, but it's that time of year, you know, when I use, I think I've mentioned before, I tend not to wear my gloves in the garden when I should be wearing them. I have gloves, there's no excuse, but sometimes I'm just, you know, I just go out there and just get on with it and don't put my gloves on. You know, usually I'm going out to do some watering, and then I've, you know, see something that needs pulling or weeding or just tidying up or something, and then I do that. And okay, I'm definitely not liking this. I've come too far down. I'm going to pull it out. See? Very wonky. Now, I don't know if I'll do more than one row on this. It's just to hold it in place and give it a border. I don't think it needs more than one. Come on. Oh my goodness, come on. That's still not straight, but never mind. It will do. Good. Good, good, good. I do like flaps and things, but you know, if I'd left it to flap about in the wind. No, but I think we'll go all the way around, give it a border. I do like stab stitch. I find it more relaxing than trying to put lots of, you know, it's not the longest needle anyway to do that sort of cantha style stitch, running stitch. I mean, it's a longish needle, but it's not that long. And also, yeah, I tend to do bigger gaps between the stitches. And I like neat stitches. I don't know about you, but I do quite like, you know, them fairly neat. Especially when I'm doing something like this. I don't know why. I mean, I could do, in fact, I'm going to do a messy stitch project coming up. So watch out for that. That's going to be interesting. So a few little panels of messy stitch. So we'll watch out for that. No, I don't know if that's going to be my next project, but it's going to be something that's going to come up soon. I might try and catch that in that one as well. That way it's not, you know, hopefully won't pull in the everyday, you know, use. let's see if I can manipulate it so that it gets caught, trapped in a stitch. Might not keep it like that, but you know, let's see. Oh, yeah, got a knot. I hope you like this little project, and I hope it inspires some of you to do it. I know there's definitely one or two who said they're going to do something like it, so that just makes me feel really happy, just so you know. When you work in isolation, in the way that we often do, there's something lovely about that. You know, I'm somebody who likes being alone. I like my own company, but I also enjoy, you know, I would love a group to stitch with, and I'm pretty sure there will be groups around, and I'm too lazy to check it out. But oh, I see what I've done here. Well, let's see. But it would be nice to, you know, to have a group to stitch with. I don't know why I mentioned that. No, I was thinking about, you know, this community, the YouTube community. And how we, you know, we're all working pretty much in, well, I'm saying we are. I mean, there are some really lovely sort of challenges that you can get involved with. That's really nice. So, you know, and you do make friends. I've made a lovely friend on here who I keep in touch with, and benefit from our relationship. You know, as limited as it is, because she lives one end of the country and I live the other. So the chances of us meeting up, but we message each other, and she's been a lovely support, and she's a lovely, lovely lady. Right. Okay, so that's done. I don't think I'll be doing any more than two. What am I doing? Oh, well, no, I'm not going to use that forest one. I'm going to put my needle back so I don't lose it. So I think I'm definitely going to leave it here now, because, you know, you'll be here too long. But I'm really happy with it so far. I think that's lovely. Love that. Nature's Gift. Love that. And that. I'll probably do something up here. Maybe I'll stitch directly onto, excuse me, onto the pouch. But obviously it's going to have a button and a tie. And because of that, you know, it could get crowded. So I'll just be careful about what I'm doing. And so there will be a part 3, and in that part 3 I will be finishing off. I will be adding, if I haven't already added the button and the tie, you will see me do that. But I hope you enjoyed that. You know, something cute. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so I will leave it there, and thank you for watching. And I'll be back very soon with another video. Bye for now.